Hey, so after watching David's last video on John 21, I started looking in the concordance and, in eSword to look at the Greek and just looking at some of these different things. And I noticed something. So when they had dined, Jesus saith unto Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me more than these? And he said unto him, Yea, Lord, you know that I phileo thee. So he asked him the word for love when Jesus asks Peter. He said, do you agape me? And Peter responds with, I phileo you. And then he says, so the first question Jesus asks is, do you agape me more than these? And then he says to him, feed my lambs. And so I notice that the word for feed in this first question and in the last question, where he asks, Simon, son of Jonas, do you phileo me? This word, when he says feed my sheep, is the same word. It seems that this word bosco, I went and looked, well, where else is the word bosco, this word for feed? Where else is it used? And the only place I find it used is, it's used 9 times. It's used in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. It's used in Matthew, Mark, and Luke in all 3 accounts where they were feeding the pigs. The account of the demoniac, where that guy had the legion of demons inside of him, and Jesus cast them into the pigs. So when it talks about these pig farmers, it uses this same word for feed. So it's like pig food. You're feeding pigs. So that's important, because when he says, do you phileo me, he uses the word that's also used in the pig food account, the pig tending. And then when he says, do you agape me more than these, he uses that same word for feed my lambs. But in this second question where he says, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? The word for love is agape. And there's nothing else with it. Not more than these, and it's not phileo, it's the agape love. So Peter admits, and he says, Yea, Lord, you know that I love thee. The word for love there is still phileo. Peter's not going to say, I agape you. And this is the right perspective. It's not that we loved him, but that he loved us. It's all about his agape love. So when Jesus asked this one about, do you agape me? He says, feed my sheep. But the word for feed here is a different word. It's not bosco. It's poimeno. So to tend as a shepherd. But what's important about this word, G4165, is that this word is the word that we have being used in Acts, Corinthians, 1 Peter, feeding the flock, feed the flock, and even Jude, feeding themselves without fear. And even in Revelation, it seems that this is the feeding. This is where the food is. It's not pig food. It's the real feeding the flock of God. And it has to do with the fact that it is the agape love. It's not really about us, but it's His love. We love Him because He first loved us. So really, it's about the gospel. If we keep the gospel and the message of His love, which is in us, then that's the real feeding of the flock. So rather than saying it's a love more than other people, or as I've been humbled to say, I only phileo you, and when Jesus asks him, do you phileo me? Rather than those two, it's the agape love that stands alone. It is the agape love that feeds the sheep, and it's not from us. It's about Him and what He promises to do. So that I thought that was really encouraging. It's His love that feeds the sheep. It's not my humility to say, I only phileo. Phileo don't cut it. That's pig food. And to boast and say, I love more, or I have more agape love, I have the true love, that's pig food. But you loved me, and now I abide in the love of God. Why? Because I've believed the gospel. And when we believe the gospel and we recognize the agape, we say we love Him because He first loved us. Because He first loved us. It's not about our love. So forget about more than these and forget about phileo. Pig food compared to His love for me. His love for us. And that is the real feeding of His sheep. So I thought this was kind of really a theme to David's study through John. It's not about our love. It's about His love. And His love does feed. Okay. God bless you. I hope you like it.